Good afternoon, Africa. Good afternoon, African Confessions. So, I am back with another episode. There is a message that I want to share with you guys. This is a translation of a confession that I received earlier on. Then, one of our admins had to give us a translation. The message reads like this: Hello, my brother. Can you please post for me? So, I was dating this man. This man lied to me that he didn't have a wife, and I believed everything that he said because at that time I was working, but I was working as a maid and I was working stay in. This man would come and fetch me each and every Friday, but this guy, he was so controlling that I never got a chance to socialize with anyone. At home, they knew that he was the son in law, but what hurts me the most is that on his side, the people that he claimed to be his relatives were actually his friends. They were making a fool out of me, and I was hurt the day that I found out that this guy was just playing me. Because whenever I would go to his so called place, it was not his house at all, but this was his best friend's house. So, what I would do is that as a woman, whenever I would go to his so called house, I would give his room a proper cleaning, yet I was cleaning his friend's house. Whenever I was at his place, I would be doing his dishes, even washing his friend's underwear. I would complain most of the times to him because I noticed that on these underwears, they were always dirty. You know, like when you go to the toilet and you do poo and you don't clean your behind, each and every time when I would clean his underwears, I would see that there will be a little bit of poo droplets on his underwear. So I would complain to my boyfriend, like, why don't you use the tissue properly? Can't you use the tissue? All this while, I thought that these dirty underwears that I was washing belonged to my boyfriend, but actually they belonged to his friend. But he never said anything about these underwears. All this time, I thought that his friend was my brother in law, but he was just his best friend. I am so hurt, my brother Nashi. So whenever I would go to his house, because he said to me that he only had one room, so we would share that same room. His best friend would sleep on the floor, and me and my partner we would be sleeping on the bed. But still, my partner would insist that we should have sexual intercourse. Brother Nashi, it was so difficult for me because as a woman, I am not used having sexual intercourse in the same room, knowing that there is another man. Yet my boyfriend kept on saying that we must have sexual intercourse. So I'll just allow him because I wanted this marriage. I was trying to save this marriage. But whenever you'll be on top of me, I'll be embarrassed knowing that on the floor there was someone else who was listening to us as we were having sexual intercourse. How I found out that this was just a lie, I was just being played. My false brother-in-law had a relative. That woman, she had came to South Africa, and I am the one who welcomed that woman. So as I was speaking with this woman, I quickly realized that no man, these people are not related at all because they were missing pieces to the puzzles. Some of the things that she was saying didn't make sense at all. So I started to be suspicious. My partner had two phones, and I never knew that he was using two phones. That is why I was not able to catch that he was cheating on me, or I cannot say that he was cheating on me, rather, he was cheating on his wife. I was the one who was destroying another woman's house. So, what this man used to do is that whenever I was with him, he would leave his other phone in the car. He will just switch off that phone, then he will put it under the seat of his car, the driver's seat, so that I cannot suspect. Because whenever he was with me, there was no woman who would call him on his phone. Why will any woman call him on his phone? Because the number that he was using, there was no woman who knew that he was using that SIM card. I was so happy that I had found a faithful man, but I didn't know that this guy, he was just like a dog, like all other men. I had said to myself that finally God had blessed me, but I was going to be hurt big time. Now, when this other lady came to South Africa, now that I had so many suspicions, I kept on snooping around. Then one day I found the phone. When I found this phone, it was underneath the driver's seat. I took that phone and I hid it with me, and he didn't suspect anything. But after some minutes, he called me and he said that he wanted his phone. So when my boyfriend had dropped me, I had tried so many passwords on his phone, and all of them were not working until finally I thought of entering his birthday on the pin, and that was his pin on his phone. I entered his birthday, then the phone unlocked. I went straight to the gallery and I saw that this guy, he was a married man. He had a wife and he had kids. I went to his WhatsApp and I looked at his wife's chat and I saw that yes, this guy was married. What I did is that I took his wife's number because I wanted to revenge this guy. But when I thought of the way that I can revenge him, I then later thought that his wife, was just innocent and she didn't know anything. So I thought, let it go. I was the side chick here. I was the one who was used. This guy is clever, ne? But that same month, when I had decided to let it go, I saw that I was pregnant. Just imagine, I had fallen pregnant for this lying guy. When I found out that I was pregnant, I had no choice. I had to get rid of this pregnancy. I did an abortion out of anger. Now I regret. I didn't want to lose that pregnancy, but I had no choice. Out of anger, I did an abortion. After I did an abortion, I said to myself, this guy, I have to deal with him. At the end of the day, I am going to deal with this guy. So I didn't break up with him. And also, the reason why I didn't break up with him, it was because out of shame of telling my parents that I was dating a married man. I was embarrassed if my family could find out that I was dating a married man. I confronted this guy about all of his lies that he had been telling me since day one, but he apologized to me. He then told me all of his wife's weakness, like whenever she cooks, she doesn't dish for anyone when the food is ready. Everyone dishes for themselves. And that was the reason why he had to have a girlfriend, because in his house, he said to me, there was no peace. She doesn't serve him. She doesn't respect him. She just leaves the food sometimes in the microwave. And when he comes back home from work, she would just say to him, your food is in the microwave. She doesn't care about him. That is what he said to me. And this man said to me, he is so concerned about the way how his wife is so friendly with many guys on her WhatsApp. So when I heard this story, I said to myself, I am going to take this man. This man is going to be mine. So what I did, I went to town. Then I just picked up a new SIM card. Then I started to talk to his wife, but I didn't tell this guy that I was in communication with his wife. I did this in secret. Since I had his wife's number, I had taken those numbers the day that I had managed to find out that this guy was using two phones. Then the wife responded to me. I pretended as if I was a man. Me and this woman, we spoke a lot, but I didn't reveal my identity. We kept on talking on WhatsApp. On my side, I had a good advantage because this guy, he had already told me all of his wife's weaknesses. And that is what I was doing. Whenever he was at my place, I made sure that I never showed him any of my weaknesses, but I was actually in competition with his wife. I could see now that there was no longer peace at his wife, as the wife sometimes will be on WhatsApp until midnight, and I will keep on chatting with her, making sure that she stays online sometimes until it will be midnight. So I kept on speaking with his wife until one day I approached her and I told her that I had fallen in love with her, and she agreed. What I did is I was proposing love to her. I was using all of her weaknesses that her husband had told me. I lied to this woman. I said to her, the reason why I had got divorced from my wife, it was because my wife is old fashioned and I am a modern man. I like cooking for my wife, and I am a guy who likes cooking. I am a guy who enjoys cleaning after a wife. I don't want a woman that is going to cook for me. Rather, I prefer that I cook for my wife. When I told her all of this, she was so happy. When I told her that I was a modern man who doesn't want his wife to cook, she was so happy. But I was just pretending to be a guy. She didn't know that on the other side of the chat, she was speaking on another woman, and I was busy working on all of the weaknesses that her husband had revealed to me. On the other hand, I was doing everything right with her husband. Whenever her husband would come over to be with me, I would even kneel down so that I can serve him food. Even during sexual intercourse, I did so many things. Sometimes the things that I'll do during sexual intercourse, it will be painful for me, but I'll pretend that I'll be enjoying. I would scream so much that this guy would enjoy. Even if I was not enjoying, I'll just pretend that this guy is the best thing that had ever happened to me. But I knew that I was in competition with his wife. We started dating, me and the wife of my partner, but I never told my boyfriend that I was dating his wife. I would ask her to send me some nude pictures of her, and I would download some pictures online of other guys. Then I'll send those pictures to her. This woman was so madly in love with me. Finally, when the time was right, I knew that I had to put the final nail into the coffin so that I can bury this woman alive and I can finally have a husband to myself. What I did is that all along I had been keeping all of these nude pictures that she had been sending me. So I took those nude pictures and then I forwarded the conversations that me and her we have been having. I forwarded as anonymous to his husband, and he never knew that it was me. We had been chatting with his wife all along, and that is how they broke up. They just divorced each other. Even today, they are still divorced. But now, my brother, the reason why I have written this confession to you, the wife is now suffering, and I know that I am the reason why she is suffering. She is going through a lot. And what hurts me the most is that we are staying in the same location, but there is nothing that I can do to assist her. This woman has suffered so much, my brother. Each and every time that I see her, my heart bleeds because she thought that she was happily married, but I chose to destroy her marriage even though she was innocent. Now I am married to another guy. That is the problem that I am having, my brother. I can't let out this secret because I am married and my husband doesn't know all of this. My husband doesn't know my past. He doesn't know that I used to date this guy. But now there is no happiness in my marriage because whenever me and my husband, when we start becoming happy, I start to think about this woman. I'll say to myself, right now I am enjoying love with my husband. I am the evil one and I am the one who broke up her home. If I tell her that it was me who caused all of this, I am afraid that maybe she will end up telling my husband, please help me. How do I fix this? Is there a way that I can tell this woman? But still, I am afraid that if I tell her, I'll be destroying my own marriage because my husband, my current husband, trusts me a lot. I really need advices. Please help me. I'll be following up in the comment section. Dear listeners, right there was a message that I received from Anonymous. I spoke to this woman a few days ago. She was saying that I can't enjoy my marriage anymore. Please help me, my brother. Should I tell everyone my secret? please let us assist in the comment section.